Record. All right, starting to record. Welcome everyone, Tellor Core Chat, August 11th, 2020. So the team is down one and plus one. So Mike, the usual co-host, is not with me today, but Brenda's on. She's here, and our new employee, JG, is also here. So we'll introduce him in a bit. But yeah, just kind of the quick updates for the developers and kind of the community as a whole. It was obviously a very, very exciting weekend. We had a nice little price run up. So if you're watching this for the first time, we do these every week, nice AMA sessions, but it's obviously really exciting. It's awesome to see it go up by a whole lot, and it's hard not to get super excited about what we can all kind of potentially do with that increased token price and increased exposure. So hopefully we can, see where it goes, and kind of I'd like to say it was because of our own awesome work. But it mainly has to do with kind of you guys, and the whole DeFi narrative in general is really taken off. So it's awesome to see that people are starting to just, hear what we've been saying for a while and see the future in this. But the basic upgrades, or updates for miners, I made some small upgrades, updates for this week. So we're adding in XFT and a Bitcoin dominance measure. Both were requested, and we'd like to support those kind of by the end of week if possible. Luckily, we'll be pushing it, and I've been yelling at you guys who I know. So make sure you update that. We're going to be testing it on Rinkeby here today and tomorrow, making sure everything looks good. Should be relatively simple, but both are going to be for some great projects, and being able to support them will be great. Other updates, I know a lot of you have been asking about V2. We were hoping to hit August with V2, and it'll be tight whether or not we hit the V2 launch on mainnet in August, but just to kind of give you an update. So we just got back actually like an hour ago. The round 2 updates from Certic. So the way audits work is they give us some audits, we make some changes, send it back. They give us some more audits, we made some changes, sent it back. And now they gave us a few small ones. We'll send them back, and we'll get the final sign off probably by the end of this week. So what the timeline is going to look like on this. So the end of this week, assuming we get the final sign off from the auditors, we'll be releasing the V2 miner as well. So miners will be required to upgrade. It's going to be one of those things like if you don't upgrade, you're not going to get slashed, or you're not going to get penalized in any way. You just won't be winning rewards. So you want to make sure that you do that. But what will happen is in a week, or hopefully this Friday, we'll be releasing the V2 miner. And then a week from Friday, or whenever we get that, we'll upgrade Rinkeby. So we'll upgrade the Rinkeby testnet, make sure the switch goes well, everything looks great. Assuming everything goes great there, we'll make sure all the miners are good to go, tested on Rinkeby, and probably a week or two, probably 2 weeks after that to be safe, we'll upgrade on mainnet. So that's kind of the general timeline we're thinking. We've been talking with the miners and making sure that works with everyone. And it's a relatively simple update from the miner side of things, but we just don't want people to be missing out on rewards or potentially gets sort of penalized or anything like that if they feel rushed in making any of these updates. So yeah, so those are some things that we're looking to do. The reports are looking clean. A lot of kind of minor stuff, mainly minor as in small, and a lot of pieces where we're trying to save you guys on some gas. We're really trying to limit those gas costs because we know that they really hurt right now on Ethereum. So hopefully anything we can do, even making some transfers cheaper, which we've done, and some pieces like that. So yeah, we're trying to do the best thing, because it's V2, the biggest pieces that we're upgrading are just these speed upgrades, and it should really help users quite a bit. Other things, just some more general updates from the Tellor community. So we just finished up our Gitcoin Hackathon. It went great. We had we announced 3 winners. We gave some bounties to. They built some pretty cool products on us. One of those wants to actually go live with some real money on Matic. So we're going to be working on deploying to Matic and allowing you guys to place some bets on Tellor prices on Matic. So it'll be pretty cool. We'll let you know as soon as that's live. We're working with the Matic people on getting it live, and we're working with this team. And then some other things. So I did an interview with Defy Slate last week. It was a fun little short one. That should be coming out. I have at the end of this week, I'll be doing a panel on oracles. I believe it's on kind of DeFi in general. It's with the Tomo chain guys. So that'll be fun. And then we'll also be, and then the following week, there's another decentralization conference that I'll be speaking at, virtual, obvious. But you can watch out for those, some cool speaking events that I'll be doing. And I think there's some podcasts there's one coming up for Brenda. I think there's one coming up for Mike. Lots of fun things. So Brenda, anything? Or did I cover it all?
I think you covered it all. I don't think you missed anything. Okay. A long list of things.
Yeah. Cool. And then of course, we'd like to introduce our first external hire outside the core team, JG. You want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. Pretty exciting times. I'm looking forward to start building with Tellor. Yeah, it started yesterday, so everything's pretty new still.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself? So what were you doing kind of beforehand? Why did you like crypto in the first place? What do you love about crypto?
Sure. Yeah. The last couple of years, I've been doing mostly security audits around Solidity, technical stuff. But I've also always been developing side projects. Most fun stuff I like to do on the side. And I really enjoy crypto space in general. One thing I really like is like the diversity of people. I get to talk with people from a lot of different countries with a lot of different backgrounds, and it's a decentralization on another level, right? I remember working on like a company and everybody has to be in the same place, and that's kind of boring in a way. So crypto, like the vibe is already decentralized and people from all over the world can contribute.
Cool. And then just so people know, you're not from the US like the rest of the team, are you?
Oh no, I'm from Brazil. Yeah, I'm in Rio.
Cool. And then you already got one compliment in the chat on your mustache. So
thank you. I care of it very carefully.
Yes. Cool. So, for you guys, if you guys have any questions for JG, feel free to ask them in the chat. But other than that, we'll just kind of get started on the questions, and JG will be pinging you and asking you some of your answers on some of these as well. So, and somebody asked, proof of mustache, is it real?
Yeah, it is. I agree with myself. It's real.
Okay. So somebody asked, the first one coming from the chat, with Ethereum moving to proof of stake, does Tellor have any plans to move to proof of stake? So this was actually one of the questions in the written ones as well. I would say, yeah. I think proof of work has some benefits. Namely, one of the big ones is in token distribution. And we're sort of, as we have a more distributed token, proof of stake can make a lot more sense. And especially as Ethereum scales or if we move to other chains, having something that works a lot faster than proof of work can make a lot of sense. So yeah, so don't get too comfy with your mining rig. We may move.
Well, and the ACS structure, it actually already supports staking.
Yeah, so if you guys want to go look at what a Tellor with staking already looks like, we have a repo up. So the first question, does more liquidity mean more speculation? Are they linked or not necessarily? I don't know. More speculation can lead to more liquidity. And I don't know. It's kind of like a chicken egg problem. You don't know which one leads to which. So yeah, not necessarily linked, I would say. Brenda? No.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. It's the chicken and egg problem. But, yeah, I wouldn't even think like that's what would drive speculation.
All right.
Other things can drive speculation.
Yeah. Next one, is blockchain a winner take all game, at least at the layer 1 level? So I mean, I know for me, I think it's really easy to say no, solely because like as we all look at Ethereum, it cannot handle a winner take all game. It's full. It will stay full. You know, it gets more expensive and prohibitively so. Yes, you know, I think some of the original founders are talking like, you see, as transactions get more expensive, it's just DeFi is becoming the meme because only these really high value transactions will take place, and they're going to crowd out all of, you know, there's no more artsy gaming on Ethereum. That's going to go away. So yeah, thoughts, JG?
I'm also would easily say no. I don't believe in the narrative. I think there will be a lot of experimentation, a lot of like domain specific chains, a lot of different experimentation, and I don't think there will be a single chain to rule them all in the end. I think we'll see always a lot of diversity in this space.
Yeah. So next question, is the space still basically 100% narrative driven, or do you see signs that this is changing? I would say almost 100%, like 98%. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, usually I think by narrative driven people mean not actual usage, but you know, if you look at fees on Ethereum or fees on Bitcoin, people are paying them. But it's basically those two chains and those two products. And then I think, you know, XRP is the number 3 coin, and you have a whole slew of top 10 coins that's still 100% narrative driven. So a lot of the space is, but yeah, thoughts, anything?
Yeah, I think there's some truth to the fact that narrative leads to a lot of stuff. For example, I do believe the narrative of DeFi incentivize more projects to build on DeFi and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a snowball that keeps stuff rolling. But I'm not sure if everything is narrative. I think it plays a big role, but there's definitely other stuff going on.
There's some real stuff too. Update on business development. Any closer to new users or interesting developments generally? Yeah, I would say there is. So I think we generally don't announce partnerships or anything like that. We try and just get people to use us and build on us. So it's one of those things we're not really into the whole hype train, but business development is going well, and we're getting more people to kind of build on us and start hacking on us every day. So it's exciting. For Brenda, any opinions on George Soros?
For Brenda, yeah.
JG, any hot takes on George Soros?
No, I think he's mostly a meme right now. So
he's more meme than man at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I don't, no takes on George Soros. Is the Tellor team not going to consider incentivizing holders at all? This is a serious lack of consideration for investors. Yeah, I mean, we were joking. You guys just all must be so hurting at this current moment. It must be very rough being a Tellor token holder at the current moment. No, it's would you guys want a 1% dividend? Like it's seriously, it's one of those things like the change in token price just totally drives it up. Even if you look at Maker, for instance, like Maker is much more of a security coin where like eventually it's going to get proceeds back from the community, but like you would never buy Maker for the proceeds. The change in token price really is going to drive any value you're going to get from it. And it's just, it's that way with this is why early stage companies, even in the stock market, you don't pay dividends as an early stage company, because the change, any sort of dividend you can pay is going to be trumped by the change in price. So you would rather have them just keep that money for themselves and grow to astronomical heights. This is, just corporate structure. But next one, when is Mike going to play Paranoid with banjo? We'll have to see when Mike can play the banjo on camera.
We'll put it on his to-do list.
Yes. Okay. Why would crypto be better off with more restrictive on or off ramps? So this is in reference to my tweet this morning. Yeah. So I was just, a lot of people are talking, I forget, there was some news article I was reading this morning that led to this, and it was talking about how some new on-ramp is getting built for users to instantly be able to go from fiat to crypto and to go from crypto to fiat. And I actually like the idea of people, like whenever you have all of these speculators able to quickly come in and come out, it leads to just sort of being monetized. If you had like Bitcoin, where the only way to get Bitcoin was to mine it or work for it and somebody had to send it to you, you could not buy it from somebody. It would change Bitcoin in a big way. Same with Ethereum or with using it. If you had to actually spend it somewhere, if you had to actually use it for something, it changes how many people are in there, how many people are actually trying to use it. So I think it just sort of keeps things more pure rather than people just trying to hoard these things to eventually sell for cash. So that was where that came from. Next, what does the traditional finance world think of DeFi? I don't think any of us are from the traditional finance world, so I don't, I think maybe I'm the most because I came from a regulatory agency, but yeah, go ask them, I guess.
I think just one small comment. I think most of the finance guys still don't really know about DeFi. So you take an average finance guy, my guess is they don't know a lot about it. So
yeah,
very early days.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Bitcoin's a speculative asset and that's all they know. Somebody wrote, "Hello, new person. What will you be working on?"
Is it for me? That's a good question. I'm still in the process of figuring that out. Like, what can I do? There's a lot to be done.
What are you excited to work on, or what would you want to work on or build if you had a lot of free time and resources?
Regarding Tellor, or I would also like to build the miner. I'm really excited to work on checking the miner and like improving it and making faster or more efficient. I don't know. And I generally also like working on smart contracts because it's a different kind of development. I would say you have to be precise and have to choose very carefully the changes you make. So that's the two things I really like doing.
Cool. Somebody wrote, CoinGecko podcast was great. Looking forward to more. Thank you. It was fun. Next person, do you think central banks will push out commercial banks to become the only banks? So this comment comes, I'm guessing I know who asked this question, but the Federal Reserve announced that they'll be doing it's basically like a central bank digital currency. in like 2023, 24, where you'll be able to instantly send money to people. You won't have to like go through a bank. You'll be able to do it directly through the Fed. And the reason that they want to do this, at least that they cited, was with COVID, for instance, it was a really big problem getting payments to people. Like, how do you actually pay out how do you increase the bank account of all of the Americans? And they ended up going through the tax system. If you paid taxes, you get a refund that way. But it would actually be a whole lot easier if every American just had a bank account at the Fed, and they could just increase your balance by $1,000. And it looks like that's where they want to go. I think it's actually super cool, because I think it could push out commercial banks in a lot of ways. And I think commercial banks are going to fight back against a lot of the Fed doing some of these things. Similar to, because it sort of exposes commercial banks. Like, how can you possibly, the reason we're supposed to keep it with a commercial bank is we get an interest rate, but now like nobody gets an interest rate. So like, why are we keeping them at commercial banks? Like, we can just leave it at the Fed and it'll presumably be safer. So yeah, I think it will push commercial banks out. I think commercial banks in a lot of ways are going to become like a luxury good that people have. So rich people will have them and the relationships with investors and things like that. But I think most people are just going to go to be central banks, and it'll work. I think, it'll kind of be like the healthcare system where, in most countries, not the US, you have like, the government run healthcare, and then sure, you have other healthcare systems like for luxury people, private doctors and things like that. But I think the central bank it'll probably work better for the country that way. Thoughts, Brenda?
Yeah, there's definitely competition. I mean, come on. Commercial banks have really no competition. It's so hard to get a charter. It's so hard to even, so I feel like they have really treated most people like they are a monopoly, because they are. And now that they have competition, it's going to be very hard for them to stay afloat unless they are able to do something.
Yeah. And then, hopefully crypto.
Offer something else. Huh?
Sorry, I think you were breaking up, but it was...
They're just going to have to reinvent themselves, or they're going to really be out of business. So like you say, go to luxury, become a luxury, but like they really have to offer you something better as a consumer. And they haven't done that for a very long time, which is actually one of the reasons I really like crypto, because I feel like that was one of the industries that have never had any competition. And crypto was one of the first, I guess, ways that, or things that could actually bring some competition to banks. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But
yeah. JG, any thoughts?
Not really. I just found out about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked, how's the hiring process going? Looking for any more hires? I think we are. If you guys, I'm sure you guys know, our revenue is based upon a very, very volatile token. So we're going to be slow in kind of expanding the team and seeing how fast or how long our runway goes. But if you're an active part of the community, if you believe in kind of our vision, and you're, whether it's on the business development side, the design side, or any of the development side, if there's things you want to work on, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to work with you either as a hire or even contract basis. We do a lot of those as well. Cool. Thoughts on the impending TikTok ban? Anyone?
first time I hear about it. I don't know.
All right, no. Next one, maybe no roadmap is the better play here. Also, it's really more 2017 style, but I would suggest to update the timeline next year with things that happened in 2020. Thank you for your comment. Next question, status of EIP 2362. Brenda, I think you sort of managed this one.
Yeah, we implemented it. We are actually waiting for other teams to implement it. Some of them are still not launched. Some of the projects that we're planning on implementing it as well. And for it to actually become a standard, well, it's gotta be more than just us. Going back to the TikTok thing, I thought you said banned, not ban. And I was
Oh,
like, what is that banned? Anyway, sorry. I've never heard about that banned. Anyway, I still don't have any comments on that, but we are working 2362. We're still pushing for that. I think it's going to be really good for the industry in general. So being able to coming from Daxia into Tellor, I think that is absolutely necessary for you to be able to run a protocol that is safe. So hopefully, in the near future, we've been in talks with several of the projects, so it'll come to closure at some point. I'll give you an update when we have one.
yeah. Somebody asked how many miners are active at the moment. So I can post. There's Dune Analytics actually has a site where you can see the number of active miners every day. So yeah, then they asked how many miners would be needed for the network to run smoothly and for the dispute rewards to go down. So every new miner that stakes, we get dispute rewards. The cost to dispute goes down. So yeah, I mean, the network's running smoothly now, but for the dispute rewards to go down, we'd like to see a lot more. And with V2, we should see a lot more stakes, which should go down. So you guys can watch that dashboard. It'll be interesting to see kind of over the next month. Next one, oracles are the foundation of DeFi and the trickiest component to build. Since you've built a good oracle, that should make you pretty good at building and layering additional DeFi blocks on top of it. Agree. Sure, I guess. Yeah, like I think, the big piece, the big problem always with sort of expanding, we definitely are open, I think, to vertical integrations, whether it's building stable coins or derivatives platforms, which we were originally building. But it's always one of these things, like you don't want too many products. If you have too many products as a company, then you lose focus of products. You want to make sure that you keep enough focus on to deliver a really, really good product first and foremost. And then as you expand, you can also sort of really deliver and give proper attention to each piece. Right now, even though we brought JG on, the team is still really, really small. So thinking that we could realistically do a whole lot right now would probably be too much. So we have to rely on external teams to build. But who knows? The team might get bigger and we might have some more free time to build some of these things. Next, do you think high gas prices place an unnecessary burden or tax on people who want to buy TRB via DEXs?
I mean, if you're using Ethereum, I guess that's the tax that you pay for any transaction, not just TRB.
Yeah, I think it's, and yeah, and gas prices, they can be bad, but like even a $10 trade fee, like it sounds ridiculous to place a DEX, but if you look at like I remember trading stocks, and it's like a $10 stock trade fee is like that was pretty standard back for the longest time. Like, it's still not bad, right? It's,
I think before Robinhood, it was like at least $7 or $5 per transaction on the traditional system.
Yeah, and so it wasn't bad. You didn't really complain about it. It's just people have gotten really spoiled with gas fees and free things. So yeah, it's yeah.
We don't like it either. I had a bunch of automated processes that if you have a threshold, like it won't run or something like that, and prices I had never imagined. I would have never imagined a year ago they were going to be this expensive this fast. I mean, eventually, yes, but I remember when I was submit transactions at like, with 10 way or whatever way or however you pronounce it, and I thought that was expensive. And now it's like if I don't put in 50 or 75 or sometimes 90, 100, like it might not even go through. It's crazy. So I get it. We get it. Actually,
Yeah. Well, and then they say like, I don't like they say an unnecessary tax. It's like it's sort of necessary. This is like
paying for a service.
yeah, this is you're paying to be on Ethereum, which is the best
Yeah.
one at the moment. So, okay. Next one. Why does CoinMarketCap say this listing is not eligible for normal ranking? I have no idea. Email CoinMarketCap. Let us know. And last one, question for JG. What projects/contracts did you work on?
So as an auditor, I did a bunch of stuff. So on top of my mind, like I've audited Gnosis, the exchange back in the day. I've audited Argent. I've audited the whole polymath system as well, one of the first versions. Lately, I've audited Loopring, not the ZK stuff, just the wallet they are building, for example. That's and a lot more. Yeah, that's just one of the few.
Cool. Next, we got a bunch in the chat, so we'll do these ones quick. Do you feel the Oracle market is overvalued, or are people finally catching up to its value? Yeah, I mean, I always point this out. We don't like talking price or market cap too much, but are we overvalued compared to where we were last month? Yes. Are we overvalued compared to Ripple's 20 billion? And but that, like probably not. Or there's plenty of projects above us that are just complete nothing. So everything's relative. I don't know if you guys. It's tough. It's you never know. Can Tellor provide a liquidity staking program separate from staking for a node, staking to provide liquidity and earn rewards to the moon? I'm not into the whole liquidity mining thing. The whole idea is that you want to pay people to hold your token and lock it up so they can earn more tokens. And apparently you're providing some service, this liquidity for other people who are presumably need your token, and it needs to be really liquid for them to get your token. The problem with a lot of these things is that there's nobody that actually needs these tokens or desires these tokens for the usage that they're actually doing. You're providing liquidity for more people to come on and provide liquidity and earn more rewards, and it's this weird Ponzi-esque game. I think with Tellor, like if there's a project, somebody, what do people need to be able to buy Tellor tokens for? They need to be able to buy Tellor tokens to add tips, for disputes, and to provide staking. Is there enough liquidity right now to be able to do those things? And I'd say the answer is probably yes. I mean, we did millions of dollars yesterday, and I think we did $2 million on Uniswap in a day. You might move the price a little bit, but if you're buying 1,000 for staking, but there's probably enough there. If you want to buy $200,000 worth of Tellor in one go, probably not enough liquidity, but that is definitely not core to Tellor's essential needs. It's okay if you can't do that without pushing up the price. We would like for you to push up the price. That's cool. So yeah, I think the whole liquidity mining thing is in a lot of ways not good. is any Oracle project aside from Link providing data on mainnet? We are. That's easy. What is the partnership with Makers? Not really a partnership with Maker. Maker is an investor in ours, and they own some of our equity. So, use case for all oracles seem to be price feeds from off-chain sources. In general, for oracles, could we see some additional use cases? I'd say eventually, hopefully, but I'd say like, what do people want right now in Ethereum? And it's DeFi and crypto prices. We sort of go where the demand is, I think. So
I kind of think of prediction markets as a potential source for oracles as well, because someone has to feed the results and that kind of stuff, but it's way more subjective, for example. So
yeah. How fast can you get data, block times, and how many confirmations you need one data point to get? Band has 2-second block times and they need 2 to 3 confirmations. I think Tellor doesn't really work like that, so we're not like our own blockchain. So right now we have 10-minute blocks. With V2 we have 5-minute blocks. But it's Ethereum, for instance, has 10-second blocks. So since we're on Ethereum, you're never going to get faster than Ethereum at all. And then Ethereum, you need some confirmations as well. Usually we tell people, wait an hour. So get a price on and then wait an hour before you actually use it. It's similar to like how Maker uses them. I think it's generally to be safe. If we moved to a different blockchain, we could really bring that down. And there's a lot of cool security things we can do if you had a much faster chain with throughput. But right now on Ethereum, especially, it's not that expensive to just sort of censor Ethereum. So yeah. Okay. Somebody asked, did you work at Consensus, JG, or where did you get the t-shirt?
No, actually it's just merch from DevCons and that kind of stuff. So
were you at
this
Prague?
one's from Prague. Yeah, I was, yeah.
Oh, we were there too. So we didn't even know.
We didn't bump each other, but they were giving t-shirts, so I took one.
Yeah. Cool. Somebody asked, what was Tellor's first exchange and price when it was listed? So the first exchange was IDEX. And what was our price when it listed? Do you remember, Brenta? Oh.
No, I just remember we started, the first 2 miners, I think they were like 3. And then when we actually went on the exchange, I think it dropped.
Yeah, we dropped to 20 cents shortly after listing. It was like, and everyone, like, you guys, if you scroll back through our Telegram, you can see it was like it was a weird time. Everyone, like, they were just like, Tellor's a scam. The whole founders are dumping on the project. Everyone get out while you can. And like, and we knew, because like we listed on IDEX. We had miners and an inflationary token, and we didn't have a whole lot of buyers. We told miners that, like, we weren't really doing any marketing, and some people just went and dumped on an exchange with 0 liquidity, and it pushed the price way down. And people were, that's why a lot of times people pay like market makers or things like that to make sure you pump the price up or keep it from dropping. But it's okay if it drops. Like it's just temporary. And that was kind of what we were talking about. Just it's okay if liquidity isn't there. It's not actually affecting any usage. The price, especially then, it was way before any users were even in sight. It's okay. The price was sort of inconsequential. It was just supposed to be a tool for getting the token into the hands of people who would eventually use it. So
I was trying to look in CoinGecko, but no.
Yeah. Will you guys personally try to stake ETH? And what is your guess on how long it will take ETH to finalize phase 2? Who wants to go first? Let's see.
guessing on the timeline. They can't even guess their timeline correctly. Why would we be able to do any better? So,
JG, what's your over under?
Timeline wise, I think we are a couple of years at least.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know. I think I will stake someday just to see what it is, how it does. But I don't think I'm planning to be like a staker and put a lot of money into it. At least not in the beginning. So
yeah, I don't know. So I don't think any of us will launch with the beacon chain or stake. It's not our thing. We're a little bit busy with Tellor, so we'll be rather than playing around with beacon chain ETH 2.0 stuff. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for hopping on. This was a fun call. Feel free to hop on next week and ask us any questions. So, last question somebody asked in the chat, any thoughts on the market, Bitcoin? Brenda?
what? No, I'm good.
Yeah.
No thoughts on the market.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's we try and stay out of it. It's just try and turn off the market for a while. It'll do your soul well. So, thanks for joining everyone. Talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.